All right, we're getting a warm January. This is going to go down as one of the warmer Januaries. It's been 15 years since I can remember a January this warm, and it's so little snow. Yeah, we had one snowstorm after Christmas. It was a brown Christmas. We had snow, and it just got warm and melted away. Then we had a little, supposed to be 6 inches of snow, but we ended up getting like 3 or 4 inches, maybe 10 centimeters. So what I'm doing today, I'm fixing a automatic water that was installed wrong quite a few years ago, 4 or 5 years ago. So finally the element burnt, I think the end of last winter, and the water pipe going down in the ground was freezing. So I pulled out the old element. I could see it was burnt all over the place, and bought a new element. It's a little, I'll show you the old one. You can see the new one in there, just a little bit of it. And I just bought a can of $10, not even 10, I think I paid $6 for a can of cheapest spray foam there is. And I just went and sprayed a bunch in there. I think the air was blowing in underneath this thing. Well, I'll show it to you. So here it is. Automatic water. It's open to the top. There's this little plastic disc. Animals just poke it down with their nose and they drink water. And it's nice and, I wouldn't say it's warm, but it's lukewarm. It's not cold hot water. So you've got, there's a door on here. It's about minus 20, and I'm going to open this up and check the thermometer. Oh, you just feel the heat coming right out of there. Yeah, it's at almost 40 degrees Fahrenheit, so I could just feel a blast of heat coming right out. So, yeah, you've got your one element there, that little white cable going down into that hole. That hole goes down about, I used to be able to get my camera in there. Now I sprayed that foam in there. It goes down about 4 feet, that pipe, 4 inch. I should have used 6 inch. That plastic pipe, 1.3 amp with the two elements and 120 volts. There's that little white cable going up. It travels up. It's warm to the touch, so I guess it's on right now. So it goes up into the top. There's a valve up there with a float. What I did was temporarily I put a light in there. Just a light fixture. One of those little plastic and halogen light bulb, which throws a lot of heat. And I had it in there a couple of weeks, 3 weeks ago. Just until I got the new element. I ordered it and it took 3-4 days to get it. And I could see, at night I could see light coming right out of here. There's a little elbow with the drain. So when this thing overflows, it comes out of there. And you got the two blue wires here going up to a thermostat. And then this black thick wire here is the main element for the pan. It just moves around in there. And then the second element is that one that wraps around the hose. Well, the guy that installed this, he wrapped it around the first 8-10 inches of that pipe. He didn't put it down deep enough in the hole, and he just wrapped it over top, over and over and over again over top of the element, which overheated the element, I think, and shortened the life of it, burnt it. So let's open up the lid and I'll show you inside. So there's just this little plastic nut. I added that metal washer, and then this thing just flips right up. So there we go. That's all it's to it. So this little thing here, you can pull that out and it drains the water out so you can wash your pan. I'm gonna move my gloves. Yeah, it seems to work fine. And then there's the float. So as the animals drink, this float drops down and water fills it back up. So that's why you need your element going around that valve up there. It'll freeze right here if it's above the water. And there's only this little... Oh, we're in good shape now. I don't think that's ever going to freeze again. And probably not going to use near as much electricity because, you know, it was cold in there. I think the wind was blowing cold air right through these cracks around the bottom. The plan was originally to caulk around this edge here, but I don't think I need to now. That foam went way in. It went in a good 2 inch, 2.5 inches underneath this yellow plastic around this flange here. Yeah, so we're in good shape now. That's really good. I should have done that years ago. This has been installed for 4 or 5 years now, maybe 6 years. So it, you know, paying someone else to do it, they screwed it all up. But you know, if I'd come out here and fixed it right the first year, it would have been just fantastic. But I'm glad I put that little block there. This stuff would have been right down in that foam. Okay, use the spray foam. There's the light I had in there. That throws a lot of heat, those halogen bulbs. We won't be able to get those eventually. They're all going LED, which there's no heat. So all of these tools, pretty well everything in here was for that job. Crazy, eh? Now, instead of walking back and forth 100 times, I just threw everything I thought I would need in there. That's wire. That's what I want to show you. Those are the bolts, and of course one of them broke. So I threw. These are one of these. They're connectors for a threaded rod, all thread. So that's half inch, and of course the guy that installed it, I told him make sure the bolts are up high enough, because it's pretty thick the bottom of that water. Well, they weren't. So he had to machine off a bit off of these nuts and weld a washer. I don't know why he welded a washer, but that's what he did. And then this, I'm glad all 4 didn't break. So one broke, so I have some of these in stock. You should always have a couple of these in stock. They're really handy. You can use them for just about anything. And I machined it right down to about there. And it drops way down in the hole now. If it breaks again, man, hopefully I'll never have to take it off again. But I put a whole bunch of this anti-seize, Permatex anti-seize compound on there. And then I filled the heads up here. I just squirted a whole bunch of oil in there. So maybe they won't rust for a while. And the old element is in my tray. I brought it with me when I went and bought the new one to compare the two. Make sure that it's in. So there's a one underneath. What do I use that for? Oh yeah, yes, I had a tap and I had a die. So I used the die fit right in here. I rethreaded those nuts, and I reused the one. I made the one new one and I reused the other 3. So I ran the tap through, and I ran a die over the bolts, anchor bolts. So it turned out all right. We're done that job, and hopefully it won't. The whole idea is it won't freeze again. Okay, last thing. There's the element that burnt. You know, it was just wrapped so many times on top of itself that the heat had nowhere to go. So when this thing turned on, it just cooked itself. See, it's all brown right there. Yeah, and it burnt through, and I tried patching it up, trying to see if I can get it to work, just out of curiosity. And I think I could have got it to work, but you can't put that down in water. So I knew I had to buy a new one. And it's about 6 feet long. That's all it's to it. It's just some sort of little resistor in that wire. So if you touch it, it won't burn your fingers, but it's warm to the touch when it's on. I think when you wrap it on top of itself so many times, it just can't. There's nowhere for the heat to go, so it just ends up overheating and cooking itself and burning. Yeah. So 2014, yeah, it's 6-7 years old now. Yeah. June 18th, 2014. It's my dad's birthday. All right. There we go. That's all that's to it for this one. Thanks for watching.